Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. As you might recall, in 2015, there was this terrible river spill accident in Colorado where the EPA was cleaning out a mine and accidentally dumped a lot of hazardous chemicals and waste into the river, turning it orange. This was a media story for the week. It began on August 5th. At the time, I did a video on this showing all that was coded into it and how it was a purposeful stunt put on by our own government. And what I want to show in this video is how this stunt was part of a riddle that connected to the upcoming Super Bowl that will be played this coming Sunday, Super Bowl 50. This year's Super Bowl is the golden anniversary of the NFL being hosted in California, the Golden State. This mine disaster took place at the Gold King Mine. So I want to go back and revisit this story, and I want to show you how it connects to Super Bowl 50. This stuff is so disgusting, so upsetting. I have to let you guys know it doesn't bring me pleasure to bring this news to the world. I do these videos so people can wake up to truth. I knew when this happened this past summer it was purposeful. Now I get the joke. And the only reason I'm able to do this is because I am dedicating so much time to this research, breaking things down, keeping track, and trying to piece the puzzle together as it unfolds. At the time, CNN's headline read, "Contamination Devastating." Devastating has gematria of 41 and 50, and right away I said, that's interesting. Those are numbers for our country. USA equals 41. America equals 50. There's 50 states in America. And I asked, is this future forecasting? Are they taking us somewhere? Now it's all making sense. This happened on 8/5, August 5th, a lot like 85. Also, the other way, 5/8 is a lot like 58. The word Freemasonry equals 58. This year, there's a lot of 85 theming in regards to the upcoming Super Bowl, and it's a tribute to the 85 Chicago Bears. Why? Because it's the golden anniversary of the NFL, which was established in Chicago. The last time the Bears won the Super Bowl was 85. Ron Rivera played on that team, who's now the coach of the Carolina Panthers. In 85, a series of 13 wins by the NFC began in Super Bowls. 13 consecutive NFC wins from 85 until the streak ended in 98, where the Broncos defeated the Packers. The Broncos this year in the Super Bowl facing the Ron Rivera-led Panthers, who have a 15-1 record, just like the 15-1 Bears from 85. National Football League equals 85. Go back and revisit the videos I've put out in recent weeks. I'll get you up to date on all this information. Just know that 85, an important number on the upcoming Super Bowl. This event definitely connected to the Super Bowl. With regards to 41 and 50, Super Bowl also equals 41 and 50, just like devastating. So what stood out to me at the time was EPA has a Jewish gematria of 66, just like NFL has a Jewish gematria of 66. I didn't make the NFL connection at the time, but now it's all becoming clear. What stood out about the 66 is Animas River, the river the spill happened in, has gematria of 66, just like EPA. The EPA said they made an accident creating this orange river. Notice that Animas River also has gematria of 57, and Animas in simple English gematria equals 57. These are numbers that are connected to the Super Bowl and championship. Colorado in the Super Bowl where this happened. The mine that started the disaster, Gold King Mine, has gematria of 66. And let's not overlook gold. This is the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl. Gold has gematria of 38. This year the Super Bowl's on the 38th day. King and Mine have gematria of 41. Again, Super Bowl has gematria of 41. They said the river turned orange, the color with 33 gematria, also the color the Broncos historically have worn. This year they're wearing white in the Super Bowl. So from that river spill to the date of the Super Bowl is a span of 187 days. 187 is the homicide code for California police. So from this river spill to the Super Bowl, homicide code. Again, Super Bowl 4150. San Francisco equals 50, hosting Super Bowl 50. 50 when written out has gematria of 66, just like NFL, just like the season of the first Super Bowl. The year 66 was the season of the first Super Bowl. Church of Satan was also established in the year 66 in San Francisco, who's hosting. The 49ers have been in the NFL for 66 years. Aside from this story, there's been other disaster foreshadowing for the Super Bowl. On November 13th in Paris, there was the terror hoax. It was a hoax, a purposeful, staged propaganda for war, aggression, tyranny, and everything we see going on in the post 9/11 era. From the date of that event to the date of the Super Bowl was a span of 86 days, which stood out to me right away and which is something I wrote about at the time of the Super Bowl. The main casualties came in the Bataclan Theater in Paris, which has gematria of 131, just like Super Bowl. The band who was playing Eagles of Death Metal afterwards did a tribute with the song Save a Prayer. All by the numbers. This is how the gang of Masons and Zionists who do this stuff to us operate. Once you learn their code, you see through their wrongdoing. Notice this is also a span of 12 weeks and 2 days. San Francisco equals 122. The location of the Super Bowl. 50 the small way, 122 the big way. With regards to 86 days, it reminds of this scene from Batman Dark Knight Rises. Remember that movie? The premiere got shot up in Colorado. In the film, Hines Ward, who wore the number 86 with the Steelers, wears the number 86 in the movie. He finished his career with 86 touchdowns. Broncos equals 86. Symbol, triangle, pyramid equals 86. This is the season of Deflategate, which equals 86. Think about how the Golden Gate is nearby. Golden Gate Bridge. Golden Gate has Jewish gematria of 239. This country's in the 239th year of its existence. Other nations in the history of this world have ended after 239 years. I don't think that's going to happen for the U.S., but I do think something very major, a very purposeful piece of propaganda like September 11th is coming. 8/6 thinks about 86, meaning getting eliminated. On 8/6/1945, the Hiroshima bombing occurred. Year 45. This year the Super Bowl's on a date with 45 numerology. The name Ward has gematria of 46. Super Bowl 50 is the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. Chicago equals 46. Remember Chicago, the birthplace of football. A lot of wrongdoing in this world comes out of the Zionist Mecca that is Chicago. The other thing I want to remind you of is after Super Bowl 48 that the Broncos were in, the Colorado team. After the game, there were explosions underground in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood. And that halftime show before that happened had this prepare thing, this creepy flash. After the game, the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood had explosions. Hell's Kitchen is now the headquarters of the Church of Satan, which was originally established in 66 in San Francisco, who's hosting the Super Bowl. Satanism has gematria of 96, just like Freemason. The NFL turns 96 this year. It started in 1920. It's now 2016, 96 years later. So a lot of things are lining up. This information has to get out. I mean, even if nothing happens at the Super Bowl, this happened. The purposeful contaminating of a river as part of a practical joke by Masonic Zionist assholes who rule the world with tyranny, deceit, destruction. The reason we as a people have so many problems, have so much trouble getting along with each other, have so many behavioral disorders, health problems, is because of this kind of stuff, which is going on all the time and which is never, justice is never sought or achieved for any of it. You know, for those of you who think nothing terrible could happen in this nation, wake up. Terrible things are happening all the time. There's been no justice for 9/11. There's been no justice for wrongdoing before that and since then. I'm telling you, this information I am putting out, it is the key to awakening those who refuse to awake. You document all that I have, you look at this history, it becomes undeniable. So to close out, Here's something I find also quite concerning. And just so you know, I have been calling this firm now since I figured this out January 19th, leaving messages with the secretary, asking to talk to somebody on the phone there. I'm yet to give a call back. I don't want to keep calling because pretty soon they'll probably just block my number. I've already left 4 messages, nobody's called back. But anyway, this firm, Magnuson Klemenkic Associates, built the World Trade Centers and they built Levi's Stadium. Also, they've built a number of other buildings that have been just fine. So keep that in mind as well. What stands out about their logo to me is the building underground. In 93, there was a World Trade Center bombing, but the bombing went straight into the ground if you read about it. And for months, they worked underground. Sometimes I theorize that they might have planted charges that during the time of that reconstruction, that repair, that are what eventually brought down the towers. That's just theory. But check this out. The firm's name in gematria sums to 111 and also 156. Here's why that's interesting. September 11th, the date that brought the World Trade Centers down that they built, is the day that leaves 111 days left in the year. And that's special to New York, which has gematria of 111. This past spring training, I predicted that the Mets would be in the World Series. They were. In that video, I talked about why it wouldn't be the Yankees, but would be the Mets. And I was right about that. Anyhow, with regards to 156, the other number it sums to, 911 is the 156th prime number. And think about how these buildings came down on 9/11, the day that leaves 111 days left of the year, and this coded into their company name. This company is located in Seattle, where I live, on the 47th parallel, another very special number. The third building to fall on September 11th, World Trade Center 7, was 47 floors tall, 47,000 square feet each floor. The reflection of 47 is 74. The World Trade Centers were on the 74th meridian. I have several videos on September 11th. It was a numerology fest that day. And if you learn this language of 9/11, you can see through the 9/11 deceit better than with anything else. Well, besides your own eyes, if your eyes work. What I knew when I was 18, the day it happened, long before I knew about numerology or gematria, was that planes could not melt into buildings. And the buildings shouldn't just stand there and then all of a sudden just fall down like demolitions. I still don't know how anyone was deceived by what happened that day, but they were. And a big part of the reason I do this work is to wake people up to truth again so that we can get justice for all this wrongdoing. Anyhow, this firm with all the 9/11 coding built Levi's Stadium just like they built the World Trade Centers. And a lot's been foreshadowed in the post 9/11 era through movies, TV shows, news fear-mongering for destruction at a football game. So keep that in mind along with what I just showed you about what's upcoming possibly for Super Bowl 50. Also notice in this company's description, the company headquartered on the 47th parallel, they operate in 47 states. What do you know? These are the gang numbers of the Masons and Zionists. Mafia in Jewish gematria equals 47. Obeys 47. Authorities 47. Judges 47. Gavels 47. On and on and on. And here's the big close. Do you remember this story? Andreas Lubitz, the Germanwings pilot who supposedly crashed the plane on purpose. The media kept showing this image of him in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. The company that owns Germanwings is Karsten Spohr, having gematria of 156. Again, 9/11, the 156th prime. This story was connected to the other plane crash hoax, MH370, that had 239 people on board. Again, the Germanwings pilot was shown in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. Golden Gate has gematria of 239, like the number of people missing in the MH370 crash that was connected to Germanwings. You have to go back and watch my older videos showing how it's all synced up. Anyhow, the nation's currently 239 years old. This is a very special number to the Zionist Jews. Torah has gematria of 239. This nation is run by the Masons and the Zionists. They believe that the Messiah will emerge through the Golden Gate. So we might be approaching their event at the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl. Until next time.